I'm Whitney Van. Welcome to the debut show of Weekends with Whitney. Starting today, Sundays just got better. This morning, we're going to go one-on-one with basketball great Shaquille O'Neal. It's a 360-second Shaq attack. We get some FaceTime with music legend Dean Martin's daughter. Find out why her new CD is her best work yet, how she brought her famous father back to stage with her, and where you can see her perform right here in Baton Rouge. Then, we'll break down the barriers keeping us from making big positive changes in our lives with Dr. Nick. And we'll go to the dogs with a GoPro camera inside Raising Cane's dog park. But we begin with honeybees. As you're eating breakfast this morning, 1 out of every 3 bites of food you eat is possible only because of the honeybee. But they are dying in record numbers. In the last 30 years, the number of beehives in the U.S. has dropped 50%. And if bees aren't around to pollinate, our entire food supply chain will perish. That's why Louisianians like Ernie Miller are taking up beekeeping in their own backyard. When you buzz by to visit Ernie Miller, you'll soon be suited up and making a beeline for the backyard. Back here are Ernie's beehives.
The Department of Agriculture encourages backyard beekeepers actually have a hive in your backyard. And for a home with 1/4 of an acre or less, they allow you to have 2 hives.
Ernie's a newcomer to the beekeeping world. He started just 3 years ago when he retired from Exxon.
I got interested because my garden wasn't doing good, and I wanted one hive, to help my garden. Hundreds of dollars later, I got a really, really fun hobby.
When Ernie's friend Stuart came to check out his bees, he wanted a hive too.
It's really fascinating, the bees, and I just wanted my own bees. I wanted to be able to take care of my own livestock, so to speak.
Ernie and Stuart are now known as the Bee Busters, and they work together unbelievably. As we're off to hijack the honey, Stuart's getting the smoker ready. He blows smoke into the hive to keep the bees from stinging us.
Smoking them confuses them, and they're not able to put out their alarm pheromone.
So even though we're all around and in their hive, none of us get stung.
Ooh, yeah. A lot of honey in it. Feel how heavy it is?
This year, Ernie has harvested 17 gallons of honey. That's up 5 gallons from last year. With our honeycomb heist complete, it's back to Ernie's beehive to extract the honey. You can see when the honeycomb is lifted out of the box, the honey doesn't pour out. That's because the bees have capped the honey into the honeycomb. So Ernie uses an electric knife to shave off the top layer of the honeycomb ever so gently to get the honey oozing out. If the heat of the knife seals some of that honey, he uses this cap scratcher to unseal it. Now it's time to extract the rest of his honey from the honeycomb. And today, we get to see their new extractor used for the first time. And here comes that delicious honey. That little bit I ate took 3 honeybees their entire lives to make. Worker bees, which are all female by the way, live only 6 weeks and make a meager 1/10 of 1 teaspoon of honey in their lifetime. So just imagine how many bees it took to fill this up. Tens of thousands. Fortunately for her, the queen bee lives much longer, nearly 5 years. And since she can lay 2,500 eggs a day, there will always be new worker bees coming in to help sustain her hive. During this time with Ernie, I learned what busy as a bee literally means. Honeybees never sleep. From the minute they're born, they're given a job, and those jobs get harder every day. Their wings stroke 200 times per second, and a hive will fly 90,000 miles, which is 3 orbits around the Earth, just to make 2.5 cups of honey. And talk about staying power. Scientists say honeybees have been on the Earth 40 million years. Us modern humans, only 200,000. But something has been mysteriously killing off the honeybee the last 30 years. Scientists don't exactly know what, but suspect pesticides, infection, or mites. Ernie and Stuart are on a quest to help save the honeybee with their hives and helping anyone else who wants to get started.
Just a couple of hives, join the bee club. They lend out the equipment to extract the honey. You don't have to buy any extraction equipment. Just add to the population. Get a couple of hives. Get yourself some honey. A couple of hives would be good for what, 5 or 6 gallons a year?
You can help by planting things around your home like lantana, hibiscus, sunflowers, orange, magnolia, or plum trees, or herbs like rosemary, sage, thyme, or parsley. And that'll give the world more honey, honeycomb, beeswax for candles, and much, much more. The health benefits of honey are legendary, and it's so important in our area if you have allergies, because local honey is made from our trees and our flowers, and so it builds up your immune system so that you don't have to suffer with those allergies quite as much. You can find local honey at farmers markets, some of the local specialty stores, and if you want to start your own hive, Ernie says call the Louisiana Beekeepers Association. They'll help you with everything you need. And if you ever needed help making a big change in life, just afraid to make that leap or afraid of the unknown, coming up next, we're going to sit down with Dr. Nick. He's going to help us make those big changes we've all been thinking about.
At Jerry Lane, they rolled the red carpet out for me.
It's always been Jerry. Jerry Lane. You know what? It's tradition, it's family, and that's what keeps us coming back to Jerry Lane. Get the lane, get the lane. Get the lane, get the lane. Get the lane.
We're a Jerry Lane family.
Always lead to. You can count on Jerry Lane.
Welcome back to Weekends with Whitney, everyone. Let's go on a shack attack. Basketball great, basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal is a great sport on and off the court. I call it 260 Seconds with Shaq. I asked him some rapid fire questions from the serious to the silly. Proudest moment.
Proudest moment, receiving my doctorate.
Biggest accomplishment.
Biggest accomplishment, all of them combined.
Most embarrassing moment.
Most embarrassing moment was probably shooting the air ball at the free throw line.
Favorite dessert.
Favorite dessert would be cheesecake with a little vanilla ice cream.
Favorite chicken.
Oh, fried chicken, Lucille fried chicken.
Todd Graves told me you'd say Raising Cane's.
No, that's chicken tenders. So, fried chicken.
Biggest challenge.
Nothing.
Favorite way to relax.
Can't tell you. But I do it every day, trust me. 3 times a day.
Oh, boy. So you have game in more than one way.
Yes.
Biggest disappointment.
Not giving Coach Brown his collegiate championship.
Favorite song.
Favorite song would be, I have a lot of them. And since you're white, I'll give you a favorite white song.
Oh, I'm ready.
I wish I had Jesse's girl. I wish I that one.
Okay, now I want your favorite black song.
My favorite black song would be Can't Say It. Yeah, because it's vocal. I'm putting cases on all you. Can't say it.
Favorite movie.
Oh, Training Day, Denzel.
Best advice you ever received.
Be a leader and not a follower.
Best role model.
Best role model, Lucille and Philip Allison, my parents.
Favorite car.
Favorite car would be my shack bus.
Why?
Because it's roomy.
Dumbest purchase.
Oh, dumbest purchase would be every car that I bought and traded in the next year.
Best friend.
Best friend, Letitia, Al, Money Mark, D-Mac. Oh, best friend would be Diesel Dog Mafia. You know who you are.
Favorite city in all the world.
Favorite city in all the world would be, I have a lot. Probably go, oh no, Cocoa Beach, Florida.
Oh,
That's my new city.
what's your next big thing?
My next big thing would to be continue making people smile, staying out of trouble, having a good time.
What's the best advice you could ever give anyone?
Best advice I can give anyone is things that seem hard, break it down and make it easy.
We're in the office of Dr. Nikki Abrahams, and we're talking about changes, and I love that I sat down and the first thing that I saw was this, which says, without change, there would be no butterflies. And it's hard for a lot of us to make some changes. So Dr. Nick is going to be here to help us think about doing that and maybe getting us to do that. Great to see you.
Good to be with you too, Whitney. And it's a real special privilege to have you in my new office.
It's
talking
beautiful.
about change. I've only been here for probably 6 weeks, and you know, we all experience change. We all know how difficult it is and yet how exciting. And I love that you found that sitting on my, can we show them again?
Yeah,
without change, there are no butterflies. And it's still risky.
It is
It's
still risky.
very
And sometimes the
risky.
older we get, the harder change is. Is it we have more to lose or we get stuck in our ways?
I remember years ago a professor of mine talking about how we have to create a center of our universe. And it's more than just saying we're creatures of habit. We need stability. We need a certain center. It's not an ego thing. So part of this is natural. We're very comfortable. Does that make sense? When my mother died, they wanted to move my father. And I said, absolutely not. He needs the stability. Now, but that's not enough to just say, okay, let's be habitual, because seasons come and change. Chapters in our life come. I'm in a new office. You've got a new show. And part of that demands risk.
I've wanted to do it for years, but I was holding back for whatever reason. And maybe it was the fear of
Failure?
failure.
Yeah,
of course.
absolutely, the fear of failure. I'd also say it's also the fact that there's a certain comfort. And what I struggle with though so much is people that are miserable, people that are so unhappy. And it's like, to take a chance, try something new. But there comes a time when it's like, no, maybe the new me is calling me to something else.
Oh, I felt like something was calling me.
Did
for
you?
Sure. I
Did you?
Yeah. And I really probably stayed too long because I just hit a wall with getting up at 3:30 in the morning, like the whole exhaustion level.
Yeah.
But I loved my job and I loved who I worked with, and so it was hard to give that up.
You just struck something that I think is really important for the audience to hear, the sense of a little regret. And I think we need to face that. But what we don't want to do is get caught up in regret and say, oh, I should have done this, or I should do this, or I should do that when we make change. We also look back at those incredible moments of joy and growth and opportunity right? It's not just regret, because there's never finished business, Whitney. Life is never finished. So we have to say, I'm taking the leap, or I'm making the change. But there's no finished business until we're dead. So we have to be resolved that, no, I'm making this move and I'm taking this risk, and I'm looking more forward to what can be instead of what I fear.
Sure. And that could be in a job, in a relationship, in parenting.
It's constant change. The real issue, if I just may, is knowing that when you're changing, there's going to be an ending. That means loss. And then there's going to be the new beginning. And in between that kind of ending and beginning, there's kind of that liminal moment, almost withdrawal. I'm not comfortable with where I am. It's almost like if I stood between the door. I'm moving from one room to the next. You know, it's a certain disquiet, discomfort. But that's what makes life exciting.
How do we not wait until the end? And I say that because I was at the end of getting up at 3:30 in the morning. You know, why couldn't I have made this decision a year before? You know what I'm saying? I guess there are a lot of people who are probably stuck in a rut at work or relationship, whatever, and they're like, I just can't move. How do we move sooner?
The hardest part of change is not thinking it, it's moving.
Oh,
it's
physical.
the feet. It's the walking the talk. It's I'm going to do it. Just, you know, we talk about I need to change. Well, you only change by changing.
Right.
I mean, it's just that simple. You only make a move when you decide I'm going to make the move. And that's a tough call because we're never quite sure when the right time is. And that's why I think we need to be careful not to have a lot of regrets about movement or about, oh, I should have done this early. It's like, no, it's okay. There's an acceptance that it's all right. It's good.
Absolutely. It's always
great to be with you, Whitney.
You too.
I love you. Great to be with you.
Thanks so much. So glad
and
you're
thanks
part of
again
the
for being a part of my office.
show. I love it. It's perfect. And coming up next, we are going to head to the dog park. We're going to pull out the GoPro camera, and we're going to be a dog literally in the park.
I love it.
It's some fun. Coming up next.
Maggio, the only way to go. Maggio Buick GMC, your satisfaction's our specialty. We really deliver on Falls River, here in New Roads. Small town atmosphere, legendary service for over 60 years. Maggio, the only way to go. The only way to go, that's Maggio.
Many of us have been by the Raising Cane's dog park, looked at all the dogs playing, frolicking, and having a great time. Some of us have even taken our dogs in there. But have you ever experienced it through a dog's eye view? Well, today we're going to go into the dog park with Risa.
The gift of fine dining this holiday season. Wayne Stabler Companies is offering one card for four. Le Creole, The Little Village, Stab's Steak and Seafood. 4 sizzling restaurants, one card.
You can count on Jerry Lane. I'm on my 3rd Tahoe.
And I'm on my 4th Chevy Silverado pickup.
It's always been Jerry.
Hey, you know I've had 4 Camaros, 5 Corvettes. Got them all from Jerry Lane. We're proud to be a Jerry Lane family.
Always me too. You can count on Jerry Lane.
This morning's sizzle is happening on Highland Road here at La Creole Restaurant. And you're not going to believe who's inside. Come on, let me show you. Look, it's Tommy Mansour. Tommy, it is so good to see you.
Whitney.
Oh.
So nice to have you in house, as always.
Oh, thank you. Well, Tommy was at the Country Club of Louisiana for the last 10 years. Before that, he spent as many years at Ruth's Chris Restaurant. So I know he's familiar to so many of you in the restaurant scene. And I love that this is your domain now. La Creole is your home.
I'm so happy to be a part of the Wayne Stabler group of restaurants. And La Creole is where I'm spending most of my time right now.
Yeah, but then you'll be at Stabs and Little Village Airline and all over.
I'm the lucky person that gets to travel to all of those and enjoy the great food while I'm there also sometimes.
Oh, that's great. Well, it's so good to see you again.
Thank you.
And speaking of great food, we are going to head into the kitchen because Chef Patrick told me that he is making up a delicious whole fish dish. It has been on the menu really since it started, but even I've never tasted it, so let's go.
Guaranteed to enjoy.
So this is where the magic happens at La Creole, and Executive Chef Patrick Brown is going to show us how they do one of their most popular dishes. It is a seasonal whole fish, which sounds delicious. What are you doing right now?
Today we got some really fresh pompano from the seafood exchange that we do business with, and they're really nice, good fish, perfect size, and they're going to get good. What we do is we sear the fish off and season it up really good, and then we cook it in the oven, and it takes you got to finish cooking it, so it's a good long 15-minute cook time usually.
Sure, and for TV's sake, that's kind of hard for us to do.
So I've already got one started and ready to come out.
Yeah, and you do it in the oven because after you sear it because it's just such a thick piece of fish.
Yeah, it's a good sized piece of fish, so you got to get a good finish on it. So get that going, and right now I'm going to prepare the vegetable side.
Great. What do you make? What are you serving with that?
We just do our whatever fresh vegetable of the day. Today it's going to be sugar snaps.
Oh,
fresh sugar snap peas that we got locally. And like I said, we'll just saute these onions up, get those a little soft.
Do you always use red onions?
Yeah, it just adds a little texture and a little flavor to all the vegetables.
Sure. And it's pretty.
Yeah.
We love pretty.
I'll throw a couple of tomatoes in there for color.
Okay.
So we got that going. I got my fresh peas right here. Already blanched off. Nice and crispy. Season those up a little bit.
A little salt, a little pepper?
Yeah, a little bit of sugar. Help bring out that sweetness.
All right. That's what I'm not doing at home. It's the sugar, a little bit.
I'm gonna add a couple of these in there just because they look good.
They do look good.
And we're getting a lot of fresh local tomatoes lately.
Oh, it's finally about that time.
Yeah,
the fall crop's coming in, huh?
We've got a lot of good stuff, so might as well utilize it.
Sure.
Well, I got those going. I'm gonna come plate up the fish. All right. Now that fish is ready to come out, nice and golden brown. Come around here with that.
Ooh, yummy.
Go and plate this up.
Wow, you left the whole thing. I see the mouth and everything.
The whole thing. And what we'll do is we'll just put a little bit of our vegetable that we're using. All right. So now it's ready to roll. Well, let me put my veg down first. We got those nice little sugar snaps. Grape tomato, a little bit of onion.
Oh, that's good.
And then get that fish. Top up.
What a presentation.
Then we add a little bit of our Chablis Beurre Blanc, which is just a white butter sauce.
Ooh, yummy.
White wine. And then we have this, which is a Creole Mogi. It's kind of the owner's family recipe. It's kind of a little relish, spicy green onions, jalapeno, lemon juice.
Sounds delicious.
And there we have it. Fresh whole fish. Sorry, just out of the way.
Ah. And now for the real test. Oh, I love that.
Great.
That relish and the beurre blanc sauce. Mm-hmm. Wow. I usually don't get a whole fish because, I don't know, A, it sounds like a lot and sometimes the eyeballs freak me out.
Yeah.
But it's not going to freak me out on this one. It's not going to keep me from coming back. Well done.
All right.
Dina Martin, the daughter of music icon Dean Martin, is coming to Baton Rouge this Saturday night. She has a new CD, and on it and on stage, she sings with her famous father. Dina and I got to share a little FaceTime, literally, to talk about her new CD, Destination Moon.
Oh, first of all, it's just a fantastic CD, and of course it's my favorite one so far, Destination Moon. And I have a wish list of all the songs that I want to sing. And when we're putting together an album, we kind of get an idea of what it's going to be. And my handsome husband, John, that you saw a little while ago, found the original handwritten Nelson Riddle arrangement. And we went in and re-recorded all this beautiful music, and I did a duet with my dad. Went to Capitol Studios and used his chart, used his microphone, and I was able to sit in the same studio that my dad had recorded True Love, a Cole Porter tune, and I did the duet with him, and it was very difficult to get through it because I'm hearing the beautiful music, and then I'm hearing my dad's voice, and I'm holding his chart, and I couldn't sing. I just wanted to cry.
Sure.
And we got through it, and it turned out it's so beautiful. And I went back into the playback booth, listened to our voices together, and it was just, again, overwhelming for me because our voices blended so beautifully, and we sounded so wonderful together. So that's true love. What he has done for my life is unbelievable. So for me to be able to sing that song, True Love, with him is absolutely, heaven, a dream come true.
Tickets are just $15 for general admission, $25 for VIP. The show is Saturday night, 7 o'clock at the Belle of Baton Rouge. And if you'd like tickets, call 225-293-2551. Nearly 5,000 people enjoy the LSU lakes on any given day. They're exercising, picnicking, feeding the ducks, or just simply relaxing. But perhaps you've never seen the LSU lakes from inside the LSU lakes. So as we close out this debut show of Weekends with Whitney, we're going to take you paddleboarding on the LSU lakes. And thanks for joining us on this first show. We hope to see you back here same time next Sunday.